Welcome, everyone, to my Waterfall envelope junk journal. I'm dedicating it to Lily. She's in heaven, but she has a sweet story that I will tell as I make each spread. I wanted to make an easy journal that I could have fun with, and I miss Lily. Wow, that's a story. We didn't always see eye to eye. She's my mother-in-law. I'll be doing one spread at a time and videoing. So let's go. So I'm trying to decide here which direction to take. I'm sure you do the same thing with your pictures or papers. You have to trial them, put them down, and see if you like them where they are. At first I thought I was going to use this of my grandson. And as cute as he is, it didn't fit on the page for what I was doing. I switched gears and got out the digitals. A whole bunch of digitals. I copied a whole bunch recently, so I really want to use them because sometimes I do the digitals and then I put them in a box and I don't use them. So I'm trying to get out of that habit and get into using them after I print them. So tearing this to the right size is going to be crucial. And at first I'm thinking, I don't like the border around the digital, so I'm going to cut it off. Oh, I'm still deciding, should I use this picture of Jace or not? Or should I use this one? Sometimes you have to estimate what you're going to do as you're doing it, and sometimes you have to use a ruler. So I was using the ruler, and what I did was I took some photos from the photo album and I copied them onto a thicker cardstock. My copying machine is a HP, and it's not always cooperative. Like, it doesn't want to copy onto things like coffee dyed paper. So I'm glad that it cooperated with that. Now I decide that I'm gonna cut this, right? And then when I start folding it, I decide, wait a minute, I'm gonna do that wrinkled up, folded over thing that everybody does, and it just looks so fantastic with a little bit of distressed ink. So I decide to leave that edge on and then just distress it with some ink and make it look like it's gonna fit with this 1957 photo. So I'm liking the photo. I'm liking the background. I'm liking the photo with my mother-in-law in it. And I found that on my desk too from a project. Oh, I'm gonna have a little sip of my lemon basil tea. I have a short if you want to see that. See how I make it. It's delicious. I drink it all summer. Love it. Because I like the fresh basil. It looks like I spilled a little bit of condensation. It's very muggy today. It rained a lot, and it was 97 yesterday, I think. Okay, so back to this. I'm liking this picture, and I am doing what most people do, and I hope this isn't getting too boring, but this is what you kind of have to do sometime, is just trial how it looks. And then I never use this And I got it out and I thought, that looks really nice. I like that rounded corner, but for some reason the corner was not working on the second one. And I decided just to leave it alone, And a little bit of distressed ink around the edges always helps out to make it look nice. So I am going to put a little bit of music, I think, to this part, so that way I don't have to keep talking and filling in the blank spaces here while you're watching me play around and enjoy myself while I'm doing this. I wasn't convinced that little column thing there should go there next to that picture. So I thought maybe if I fussy cut it, then it might fit better. So I give that a try, and it's kind of really fussy it's a digital. And I was like, not sure about this. Let's see how this is going to be. I liked how the blue matched the blue on the base digital. And so I thought that it was going to be a good match. But I'm not convinced. It actually kind of looks a little bit different as I'm watching it on the camera here, and I'm thinking, well, maybe it might have worked. But when I was making it, placing it and trying to decide where I should put it, I wasn't feeling it for the picture. So that had to go over to the side, and we had to go with something else. So I have this tatting that I got at my favorite thrift store. My favorite thrift store is called the Johnny Cake Center. That's funny. I go there a lot. And I got this tatting for a couple of dollars that was, handmade. And my mother-in-law's mother used to do tatting. Actually, I have her books, and I have her the crochet hooks and everything, but I never really learned how to do it because it's so tedious and small, and I feel like I have too big of a hand to figure out how to do it. I don't work well with tiny things. So that goes on my way down the bottom of the list if I decide to figure out how to do it. Who knows? Someday I might. I'm going to glue this down now, and I've decided that this definitely should live right here. And sometimes you have to make a decision on some things so that you can get the process going. And I liked how it looked, and I hope that I am on camera here. I can't be sure because I'm doing a voiceover. I'm cutting this tatting to the bottom of this because I really like how that looks. So let's glue down the tatting and see where we go with the next step in this. So I'm feeling like the picture needs a little bit of something up in the corner or the page, and I'm trying to see what will jump out at me and be cohesive. So I put everything back in the can after I have this little thing here that fell out, and that piece of paper that was on my desk left over from another project. And I'm feeling like that is going to look good, and I like how it's headed that way. So I'm going to glue this down and get this decision made before I change my mind. And I'm trying to do that when it comes to art, not other things, but when it comes to art. See, I should have just glued it down, but I was looking at it and I was thinking, oh, I think I need to trim this a little bit. And so I start trimming it, and I'm not even sure that it really will make a difference when I'm done. But that's what sometimes I do, and I think it slows my creativity down. And so I am not quite there yet, but I'm trying. And looks like I put it in a different position than I originally had it, but it'll work. It works. I'm still happy with it. So I'm going to start moving on to the other side and open up the envelope, make sure that it's opened, and see what we're going to do for the other side. And I have the rest of this digital that I apparently didn't have totally on camera, and I'm going to utilize that because it's in the same color scheme, and why not? I mean, when this digital was made, that's what it was made for. So obviously I didn't make the digital. I purchased it, and I'm not sure where it was from, but I don't know. It looks familiar, but I can't remember. So this is going to go up here, and I am in a little bit of a thought process as I'm doing this, because those windows on the envelope, I'm thinking I can cover them up if I want to. It's my junk journal. But then I'm thinking, well, you kind of branded this as being a junk journal envelope journal. So you probably need to stay with keeping those windows open and try to get creative as to how you're going to use the windows. So I end up doing that, I think. and I decide I'm going to keep, you know, this here. I like that blue. I got a little bit of a blue creamy thing going on there. And the only thing is, when I ripped that with the ruler, I didn't rip it, I ripped it a little much, but then it was kind of a happy mistake because I think that the music paper looks good bordering that paper too. Because, you know, as most people say, it's all about the layers sometimes when you're doing these spreads. So tearing that off, I don't like that point, so we'll get that point out of there. I was hoping that when I tore this one, because I wasn't paying attention, that I had tore it enough so that it would match up with the bottom, and it looks like it just made it. So So I got that Roman column, that's what I think it is, again. And I'm trying to make it work because there's something about it that I really like, and I really want to incorporate it into this piece somehow. And I'm not sure how I'm going to do it, but I really want to try to do it. I also have this little piece of a Kate Greenway page, and it's got a little, I don't know if it's a poem, but it's got something Mary in it, and I have a friend Mary that I talk to all the time, and I really wanted to keep this in because it said Mary's name, so maybe she'll watch the video. But I end up really trying really hard to keep that little poem thing that I can't read what it says from here right now, but I try to keep it in there. And then that column thing, I gotta figure out how to do the column, and I'm not liking how these windows are looking. I just don't know what to do with them. I don't know. I'm thinking that maybe I will get some of my pastel, it's not really pastels, but those things, the intense blocks. And the only thing is that the blue that I have is more of a navy blue. And even if I try to water it down a little, it might overwhelm this piece. So again, I decide, you know what, I have to make a decision. I have to get this column down because I want to use it, and once I put it down, maybe I'll like it. So there it goes. It's glued down. So now we're going to go and we'll figure out what to do with this thing here. And then I put it on hold for a second because I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut this picture down so that it will fit into the envelope, and then those two windows will now have something good to look at. So I put this in here, and I feel like this was, halfway through, I'm halfway to the end of the solution of the whiteness of the envelopes, and then it kind of dawned on me that what do we always do when we feel like we have what we call stark, or stock? Well, depends. We use our distress ink, right? So I'm curling up some of the edges a little bit to give it more character and more of that old feel. And then I am going to ink up this area. I start it by, I'm voicing over, so I know what I'm doing, right? I already knew what I was going to do. But I got the distress ink out, and I thought this is going to solve my problem with the white, and I don't want to go too dark, so that's why I stamped it over to the side like that, because sometimes you can go a little heavy-handed with the distress ink, which I love the distress ink, but sometimes it can be too much. So I'm just trying to like push that white back and bring out the more antique look. And I still think maybe a little bit of the blue, but I'm glad I decided against it. So I feel like this is looking a lot more how I'm wanting it to look. It's lacking a little bit, so I need to think. Okay, now hopefully you've watched how I made that first spread. You've got all the way to the end. You've enjoyed it. You've maybe given me a comment or a thumbs up or something. And real bonus, you might subscribe. Okay, then this is how I ended up. And let me tell you a little story. This is my mother-in-law, my father-in-law, and my husband. Now, they were married for 13 years, and they didn't think they could have kids. The doctor told her she couldn't have kids. Well, my husband was the miracle baby. In 1957, I don't know if they had in vitro or not, but they didn't do any of that. They just had the baby naturally. Actually, she had to have a C-section back then, which was, different in 1957. But my husband was born, and so he was the miracle baby. And then we had our 7 children together. So that's why I'm doing this journal kind of dedicated to her. I don't know, I'm not gonna do all pictures of her probably, but this is where it all started, right here. My husband, the miracle baby, and these two, and look how happy they are. I wanted to write this moment over here, but I feel like when I write on something, like I have this the way I want it, and when I write on something, I feel like I've ruined it. I don't know if it's that I don't have good handwriting, or I don't have the technique, or I don't know. But I am taking a calligraphy class in a couple of weeks. I signed up for one, so I'm hoping that will help me so that I can have more confidence that I don't ruin my whole spread when I do it. Let me just say, I used to do wedding cakes and birthday cakes and all occasion cakes, and when I would make the cake, I would have it just the way I wanted it, the frosting, the flour, everything looked good. And then when I would write on it, if my hand was not shaky and smooth, I felt like I ruined the cake. That's kind of the same thing. I feel like I do that sometimes. I don't know if anybody can relate to me. Do you know what I'm saying here, people? It's hard to do that nice junk journal look. It's, there's a look. I know. I'm trying not to be comparing myself too much to other people. But, you know, there's a look. So I am hoping that my, my class will help me to seal the look. Okay, so I will be doing another spread. I'll be doing, this will be page 3. And again, I don't know if I already said this, but if you want me to write down, I wrote it down. If you want me to put it in the video at the end next time, what I would do is I would probably just take a picture of it, because I'm not really good at linking things and knowing how to link things. So what I would do is probably just write out the instructions on how to make this journal, how I made it. And if you're interested in that, then, you know, comment, and all those comments and things shows YouTube that you're interested in my videos and you're interested in me making more videos. So thank you for that, and thank you for all of the people who have subscribed and have been watching my videos excuse me, to the end, because again, it puts me on the YouTube algorithm bus, and when you're on that bus, then you are going places. So I'm trying to do that, and I can only do it with your help though. And hopefully you're still here. It's all the way at the end, and usually when it's at the end, then that's when people turn it off. I do kind of the same thing, I have to say. So but this waterfall junk journal envelope thing is the easy, well, it's not easy breezy, but it is pretty easy, and it's so inexpensive. If you're just starting junk journals, actually that was the first something like this I think I made. I don't know where it is now. But if you're just wanting to start, I mean, you can, this is a shirt, this is some fabric, I mean, this is some tatting, but I mean, lace at Hobby Lobby is so cheap when it goes on 50% off. There's a lot of stuff here that's so inexpensive, and you can just make this the cheapest way you want to make it, and it will be fun and good experience. That's what I'm hoping I can bring to you. So I've talked a lot, and I thank you for your patience, and I suppose if you like hanging out, then it doesn't matter, right? Because that's how I am when I like watching videos. I like to listen to them, and so I thank you for listening, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.